The Milwaukee Bucks have waited 18 years to host Game 1 of a playoff series. In those years, they haven't advanced in the postseason, and the city of Milwaukee has only witnessed just 9 playoff wins and 12 losses, including 4 that ended seasons. Now, after a season in which they earned the best record in the NBA, the Bucks entered the playoffs with every opportunity to rest on their laurels. They swept the season series from the Detroit Pistons, 4-0, and most of those games weren't close. On Sunday, the Pistons were without All-Star forward Blake Griffin, too, putting them at a major disadvantage. But the Bucks, playing their first-ever playoff game at Fiserv Forum, didn't coast or play down to their competition. Instead, they rampaged to a 121-86 beatdown, dominating from tip to buzzer to the delight of the Sunday night sellout crowd. "We ain't worried about nobody else's team," point guard Eric Bledsoe said. "That's what I think was so great about this team this year is we didn't focus on the standings, we played our game and took care of who we had to. We're focused on us." Giannis Antetokounmpo set the tone early, attacking former teammate Thon Maker twice on drives to the rim and earning foul calls. It was a reunion of sorts for the pair, who consider each other brothers after nearly 3 years together, but neither held back, particularly Antetokounmpo. Then, slightly more than 2 minutes into the game, Antetokounmpo again pushed in transition, charging at Bruce Brown for a layup and a foul. Box score: Bucks 121, Pistons 86. As the crowd erupted and Antetokounmpo beat his chest, he uttered words that encapsulated everything that was to come, both regarding him and the rest of the Bucks. "I'm unstoppable," Antetokounmpo growled. At that point, the score was only 10-2, but the rout was on. The Pistons indeed had no answer for anything Antetokounmpo of the rest of the Bucks did throughout the night. Antetokounmpo led all scorers with 24 points and 17 rebounds while playing just 23 minutes in the blowout. If there was ever a time for a mercy rule, it would have been after an Antetokounmpo dunk from a step inside the free throw line on a breakaway in the third quarter, but on this night, there was no mercy to be had. Antetokounmpo was one of 7 Bucks to score in double figures. "There's always areas to improve, we can get better offensively," Coach Mike Budenholzer said, "but I love it when I see a box score where lots of guys are participating, lots of guys are having good games, and we're not totally dependent on just those top 3 guys, top 4, top 5 guys." Bledsoe had a quiet 15 points and 5 assists in 25 minutes. Chris Middleton took some time but got cooking with 14 points on 4 of 7 3-point shooting to go with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Brook Lopez added 14 points and 4 blocks while locking down the paint to help hold the Pistons to 38% shooting, and George Hill had 16 off the bench. No Bucks starter played more than 25 minutes, and no one on the team played more than Pat Connaughton's 28 minutes in the slaughter. "We've had a lot of games this year where we haven't necessarily played too many minutes, but that just means the team is doing our job as a group," Middleton said. "Guys are coming in off the bench, the starters are doing their job, so if Pat's leading us in minutes and we're winning these ball games, I don't think you'll hear anybody complaining, especially Pat." Down more than a dozen less than 6 minutes in, Coach Dwayne Casey instructed his team to play zone, something the Pistons almost never did during the regular season. It didn't help. He also switched center Andre Drummond onto Antetokounmpo, a tactic other teams have tried at times this season. It worked about as much as Detroit's zone did. Regardless of who was on the court for either team, the Bucks dominated in every aspect of the game, building a 20-point lead after the first, a 27-point advantage at halftime, and ballooning the margin to as many as 43 points late in the third quarter. At times when other teams might have let up, the Bucks only pushed harder. You tend to look at the scoreboard and you realize you have a huge lead like that, you tend to let down, you tend to slip, and that's not the right way to play the game or finish the game, Middleton said. You don't want to give them any type of rhythm or anything they see that they can take advantage of later. Just try to play the game the right way and not play the score. The difference reached its widest point following what was the chippiest moment of the night. With the Bucks already up by 41 with 4 minutes and 7 seconds left in the third quarter, Antetokounmpo rebounded a miss by DJ Wilson. He set his feet to rise up for a putback when Drummond aggressively shoved him to the ground, never going for the ball. The foul was reviewed and deemed to be a flagrant 2, leading to Drummond's ejection and thunderous cheer from the sellout crowd. To add insult to injury, Griffin, who was on the sideline in a suit, was assessed a technical foul after sharing his thoughts with the officials following the review. While the sellout crowd worked itself into a froth, the Bucks calmly attended to their downed star, picking him up and avoiding a further altercation. As a team we talked about it, to try to keep our composure whenever the opposing team tries to foul us hard or try to hit us or play dirty, Antetokounmpo said. We said we've got to keep our composure, we've got to do our job and our job is to win games. Obviously, I'm not going to look to the referees for protection, I've just got to play smart and try to avoid the situation. That brief moment of drama gave way to both teams' bench units playing out the string in the fourth quarter, with the Bucks reserves picking up where their teammates left off. Nikola Mirotic, in his first action since breaking his left thumb March 19, scored all 4 of his points in the fourth quarter and finished the game 2 of 8 from the field and 0 for 5 on 3-pointers. All told, Sunday was a perfect tone-setter for the Bucks, 18 years in the making. The challenge now for the Bucks will be to prove they can do it again after 2 days off with Game 2 on Wednesday. I don't think it's really anything that we have to force or really think about too much just because we have such a great locker room, such a great group of guys, Lopez said of keeping up the intensity. It just comes natural. We've held ourselves the same way game in, game out regardless of what's happened. I believe we're just going to continue to do that.